Hey, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Today, I wanted to talk about a problem that we agents face all the time, and that's pricing properties. And I say it's a problem because you really want the seller to like you at the end of the day. You want them to connect to you. You want the property. You want more visits to your website. You want more buyers. You want sellers thinking that they can sell for 10, 15, 20% more, seeing that you're selling for those type of prices. So I'm not blaming anybody, and we're guilty of this all the time. But I recently went to a neighborhood in Efrat to see a specific property. The sellers wanted something like 8.5 million shekel for a property that's worth, maybe 6.5. And I asked them, like, where are you getting these numbers? Well, I know that my neighbor sold for 8 and we're better, so we should get 8.5. Her neighbor sold for less than 7 million shekel. But what ends up happening is everybody kind of pumps up those numbers. They hear what they want to hear. And in that specific neighborhood, there are 2 properties for sale right now, which is another reason that she's asking that price, for 9 and 10 million shekel. The last property sold for less than 7, and these people are asking 9 and 10 for a semi-attached house that's 240 meters. It is, and this is in Efrat, by the way. This is absolutely absurd. Now, everybody understands why a seller is going to want X% over the last property that sold in their neighborhood. Prices in Israel have gone up since 2022 by something like 35%. In Jerusalem, they increased 10% year after year for the past 5 years or so. So the market is always doing this. And if my neighbor sold for 2 million, I want to too. The problem is that right now we're at an all-time low as far as the amount of sales in the market, right? This last quarter, we're talking about a 10% drop compared to the same first quarter of 2024. New apartment sales are down 30%. So there's not a lot of action. We're seeing this in properties that we're marketing throughout Israel, with the exception of, let's say, Jerusalem. So Efrat, they're down a bit, not that much. I would say Ra'anana, Kfar Saba, Herzliya, all around the Merkaz area, we are not seeing the same level of action that we've been seeing in previous years, and certainly it is having an effect on the market. Now, the question is, what happens when you add to that overpricing your property? Now, if you're in a hot market, you're in a place like the German colony in Jerusalem, something else happens. People aren't just going to stop buying in the German colony. What you're doing when you're not pricing right, and I'll give an example from a very nice street in the German colony where a top floor apartment in an old building was asking 17 million shekel, 30% smaller than a penthouse that we were selling for the same price. All that did was reinforce the sale for the buyer that was looking at our penthouse, and it ended up sealing the deal for us. That property is still on the market. All they did was help us sell. And that's what happens when you grossly overprice properties. You're either helping other people sell their properties around you, or you're pushing people out of the neighborhood completely. And we're seeing that on the macro level with the amount of deals that have gone down significantly over the last year. So how do you avoid this and not give into the temptation to overprice your property? First of all, you call and listen to a professional real estate agent. I don't know too many agents that go in, give an estimate on a property, and then the seller argues with them, no, that's way too high. I want a lower price, right? So first of all, kind of listen to the professionals that are talking to you. What we try to do is not just give you the comparables of what currently is on the market and what recently sold. We take factors into consideration like the weak dollar, like buyers' budgets now, right? That's changed. People are coming potentially with less money because their properties are selling for less, or they're not selling at all. Or if they're coming from abroad, the market has changed there, and so on and so forth. We try to take all of those circumstances into consideration to help you price right. For more information on how to price your property right and a free evaluation, call me today. Thank you so much and have a great day.